What's going on, everybody? Happy holidays and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. What I'm doing for you guys is 10 tips going into the new year for driving, what you need to do, what you need to improve on. There's a lot of things that have been happening lately with Uber and Lyft, so I'm going to go over some of this with you guys, and let's have an awesome video. Before we get started, I just wanted to tell you guys real quick about Get Upside. Get Upside is a great app for saving money on gas. You get 25 cents off per gallon the very first time you use it. And every time after that, they have an awesome referral program that you can continuously be saving money on your gas. It's a great app. Link in the description. Be sure to check that out. But let's dive right into this. So 10 tips for driving in 2020. I'm also kind of making this, it's like 10 tips / 10 goals / 10 pieces of advice on what I know about where Uber and Lyft are headed. So the very first thing is don't be married to either app. One thing I learned really more towards the end of this year was I had a lot of times where I was really like hell-bent on driving for Uber or maybe it was Lyft. And the thing that I always forget is the best numbers that I ever have is when I'm just running both apps and not thinking about it, right? So like I turn on Uber and Lyft and I turn off whichever one doesn't ping first. And then once I complete that ride, I turn them back on. Whenever I do things like that, whenever I do my days like that, it's always the best earnings. So what I've noticed is there's a lot of situations and scenarios where I wouldn't do that and it would affect my day. One of the biggest ones is when I would have a quest from Uber. I would just be like going crazy to try and do all these Uber rides. Now, what I've been learning is that when these things happen, a lot of times a lot more drivers are coming out on a weekend or whatever it is to do those bonuses. And so last weekend, for example, I had a quest from Uber. It was like give 60 rides, get an additional $180, something like that. It might have been 170, but it was somewhere along that. And I, for the first hour, didn't get any rides on a Friday. And like normally on Fridays, I can just give like back-to-back rides. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run Lyft, see what happens. So I turned Lyft on. I got a Lyft ride right away. I got back-to-back Lyft rides, and I ended up driving Lyft for almost the entire weekend. I hit 3 bonuses on Lyft. They weren't anything close to the Uber one, but I made almost $70 in bonuses on Lyft because they occasionally still do bonuses. They're not big, but like I hit 2 of them for 5 rides for an additional $25. That's a great bonus. That's like having a $5 surge on each additional ride, you know? So I made just over $500 in 2 days, pretty much just using Lyft. I think I gave one or 2 Uber rides. And so it was a really big lesson for me because I've in the past been very, very married to Uber. And I even was like, I've quit Lyft like a few times too, where I was like, okay, I'm done with Lyft. But I never like really delete the app in my profile. What's the point of that? You know, I just would like be more active on Uber. And so on Lyft, I was just tearing it up last weekend, and I think this is going to be a really, really big thing as the gig economy changes, is really trying to balance the two and really paying attention to what days one app is more successful versus the other versus what areas are more successful than the other. So that's my first tip for you guys. The next is moderate your driving and progress towards the future. So what I mean by that is if you're a full-time driver, actually really just for anybody, I'll phrase this for what I'm doing. My goal is to cut 10 hours of Uber and Lyft driving out of every week I drive. So I usually do anywhere from 20 to 30 hours. On weeks where I would do 30, I want to do 20. And on weeks where I would maybe do 20 to 25, I want to cut like 5 hours out of that. I want to scale down and make more money from my other endeavors. And a lot of the reason why I want to do this so badly, geez, there's like a herd of people walking over here. Very odd. But a lot of the reason why I want to do this so badly is because I really believe Uber and Lyft are starting to get to like a scary point where I'm like really starting to question the future of these companies based on some stuff they've done recently. I have a whole video coming out on this, so don't sweat it. I'm going to go into a lot of depth on it. But there's some really, really major changes coming to the gig economy with Uber and Lyft. And so I think it's really important that this year you guys really focus on scaling down your hours and not being as dependent on it. Like, I think it's probably more important now than it ever has been. Number 3 is utilizing all apps. So Get Upside, Play Octopus, Cargo, Stereo, Firefly. That's, I mean, easily an extra $500 a month if you're using all those apps. So I just think that if we're doing this, why are we not going all in? Like, why not use all the free apps that help you make more money? You see what I'm saying? So that would be my next tip, is utilize all those apps. Like, really get the best bang for your buck while you're out there. I don't think any of us like really look forward to driving and Ubering and Lyfting each day. I think we just don't mind it. So it's like, if you're going to be out there, make the most of it. All those apps, I've got links in the description. Just go download them, get going. It's easy, guys. Very, very easy. But my next tip is, one thing I've really been noticing is, there has been a huge increase in the amount of people reporting health problems from all the driving. And I did a video on this before, but a really big problem is blood clots in the knees from all the just really stiffness. So again, if this is something you've been doing for a few years, and even if not, what a better time to start. But if you've been doing this for a long time, especially, and you're not actively working out and eating good, you've got to change that, because it's gonna kill you, like, eventually. I mean, hopefully not literally, but like, it's gonna cause some serious health problems. So like, don't overdo it. Like, I'm not obviously like the pinnacle of health sitting right here, but I work out a few times a week. I'm really like walks. I'm like, that's like kind of like my like meditation in a way. So I take a lot of walks, which is good. But I eat relatively clean. I don't eat like a pristine diet, but I try. And I've really noticed how much better my body's felt and how much more energy I've had when I'm out there driving because of this. So that would be my next tip for you guys. My next one is make time for the weekends. So I think really important for you guys this year is, even if you have to sacrifice 2 weekdays of driving, like let's say maybe you trade Tuesday and Wednesday hours for your Friday, for your Saturday. Giving up one day of your weekend will seriously increase your earnings, like, significantly. So another goal that I am making, that I think you guys should make too, is every week I want to trade like 2 days of weekday driving for 1 day of weekend driving, preferably Friday or Saturday. That's just, you're just going to make more money, plain and simple. Like, I would literally guess an extra $200 a week. Let's see. The next one, apparently a lot of people still don't do this, but recording your miles, it's eventually going to bite you in the butt. So make it a goal this year to record your miles, take your taxes seriously, and not let that really hurt you. Let's see. My next one is cutting hours. And I kind of talked about that a little bit in the beginning, but I'm making it a goal to like significantly drop my hours. I'm making it, I'm initially going to do like 5 to 10 hours per week. I talked about that, but I want my goal by the end of the year to be that like I'm doing like 10 hours of driving a week max. I really want to try and get to a place where I'm comfortable without Uber and Lyft, because like I said, I just think the future is a little bit shaky with like the direction of the companies, plural, Uber and Lyft. Yeah, it's just not looking good. But my 9th tip is utilizing surge hacks. I don't know how many of you guys have seen my video about like how to really maximize your surge hours, but utilizing surge hours can be the difference between making an extra $100 a night. More than likely, that's probably just for a weekend, but still, it's going to be applicable every now and then on weekdays too. So if you haven't, go check out my video on surge hacks. I really go into depth about how you can like really make a significant amount of more money really doing surging the right way. And my final tip is grow a mustache. The reason I say this simply is because I drove all last week with this thing, and I don't know what it was, but my tips were up almost 60%, like crazy significant jump. And the weird thing was, it was such a natural conversation starter. I had so many people that would compliment it, and they would, generally I think younger guys don't usually have a mustache. So, and I'm doing it for a film role I have, and I've kind of just loved having it. I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty powerful with it. So, sorry ladies if you, you can't grow a mustache, but grow a stash. It's a game changer. It is a money maker. It's going to really increase your earnings in 2020. So that's what I got for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I really hope you guys crush it this new year. Let's make 2020 a banger. I'm out.